Hey guys, Stuart here from Chaos Cards, and today we're going to be having a look at the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Super Starter Space-Time Showdown. This is the introduction of the Pendulum Monsters, as you can see right there. It does come with a new playmat that has the new Pendulum Zones on it, so that's kind of cool. Has a power-up pack inside, which, if I remember correctly, always includes Odd Eyes Dragon and Dark Hole as ultras, but there's some other commons that you get as well. If you want to just have a quick look at the list, that is it there, if you want to look at that before we carry on. As you'll notice, there's quite a few vanilla monsters with no effects, and then you have these empowered and summoner type ones. Nothing too spectacular in the trap and spell lineup, but there's some cool stuff in there. It's not too bad really. So just so you know, I'm using a different lighting today to see if it makes a difference, because I've had a lot of trouble with the brightness, so I'm trying a different light. So let me know if it's working better or if you prefer it. I know that my hand is casting a shadow, but I'll try and just show everything the best I can. So let's get into the box. Found that if I cut the back of it like this, see, it makes a big opening. So, because I find that pulling these corners up is really irritating, so I just do that, and then you can pull the top. So, right, let's throw that away because we don't need that. Same as usual, starter decks. You know, everyone knows what comes with them. If you're new to it, comes with a beginner's guide, as most of the decks do these days. There's the little power-up pack, and there's the deck, and I'll show you the Pendulum Zones quickly before we get onto the cards. This is a paper mat, so I'm sure that some of the new rubber playmats that Konami gives out at tournaments and stuff will probably have Pendulum Zones on it. So, as you can see, it's a normal mat mostly, but then on this side you have the red Pendulum Zone, and they've had to move the deck zone and cut it in half. Same for the graveyard at the top, it's just like cut off. So yeah. And then you got the blue Pendulum, and again the extra deck and the field spell are just cut off. So you get that, it tells you the phases in the middle, nothing on the back. So that's the two new Pendulum Zones as you can see them there. So you do get that, which is kind of cool. If you're new to it, it will give you something to it's like the most up-to-date mat you could get paper-wise. So if you're a new player or a budget player or just a young kid who plays the game, then this is probably good for you. So let's put that over there. Okay, we'll put the deck at the back. You might have noticed I'm doing this on a buddy fight playmat. I don't actually own a Yu-Gi-Oh playmat at the moment, funnily enough. Probably should get one of those. But I love buddy fight. It's like my favourite game at the moment, so I'm playing that a lot. But yeah, we'll open this, he says, as he tries to rip it. Come on! Why are you fighting me? There we go. Sorry. They do this to me. These are so easy to open, like when I'm not on camera, but when I go to open it on camera, they fight with me. Oh, upside down. Okay, so let's let my camera focus. Cool. So here we have Odd Eyes Dragon. Pretty cool, 2500, 2000 Dragon. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of the monster in the graveyard. It's alright. Level 7, I think? Yeah. So, I think there'll be more support to do with this later on. But yeah, you always get one, so it's kind of cool. If it's worth, well, it's worth it just for that. So, like, it's worth it because it's a new card, so if you're going to pick up the starter deck, you might as well, like, if you're on the fence, if you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I would just pick it up anyway, because you know you're getting the new Pendulum stuff, and it makes sense. If you're a serious player, you want to get 3 copies of all the cards, so you might as well just do it. So yeah, you always get one of them, and you always get an Ultra Dark Hole, which is kind of cool because it's a staple and pretty much everyone uses it. So right, so from now on, the rest of this pack is kind of random, because at Chaos Cards, where I obviously work, I had to open quite a lot of these packs. I had to open something like 60 decks, something like that, to get the single cards for the website, and these are different in each one. So I think it's a set of 15 that these come out of, and these hollows are included in that 15. So there's a possible 13 cards you can get here, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like you get 9 actually. Well, we'll see. So we have DD Warrior Lady. Pretty much everyone knows her. Kira has the Light Monarch. Remember him from a long time ago. Used to think he was really good back then, but yeah, I was young. Des Volscath, who seems to be reprinted like every time they need a dragon. Divine Wrath, that's pretty cool. That's not too bad. Magic Cylinder's nice. What with a lot of the good traps being banned or limited now, you know, Magic Cylinder's seeing a little bit more play, so it's kind of cool to see that. Call of the Haunted, staple, you know, loads of people play it, loads of people have it, it's been printed a million times, but there's another one. Mirror Force, that's probably one of the best cards you can get from this little pack. I think, I'm trying to remember, is Mirror Force on 3 now? I think you can use 3 Mirror Force now. I don't know if you would, but you can. So yeah, Mirror Force is in there. Remember, Mirror Force isn't always in here, there's a chance to get it. Swords of Revealing Light. Everyone knows Swords of Revealing Light. Classic card. So that's what I got. So you get, in the pack, you get the 2 hollows, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you get 10 of the 15 card set, but you always get these 2, and then these 8 are random. So okay, so that's what you get in there. Now let's get on to the main attraction, shall we? Let's do that. And look, I found the plastic thing this time. I found it. I'm pretty sure someone's going to comment who knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. How did I do this before? That's it. There we go. I have opened, like I said, a ton of these. Like I said, I opened 60 decks. That took a long time. Right. So I may as well just put this down here, and then we'll go on to the first 2 cards. Now these are the new Pendulum cards. As you can see, half monster, half spell, I believe it's supposed to be. 1200, 600, as you can see, the first edition marking and the code is down here now because there isn't enough space for anything else. They do look pretty cool, I have to say. I do like the way they look. There's a lot going on though, so sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. It's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? But you know, overall they look pretty nice. I think Konami's done a decent job of implementing the idea. However, I think Pendulums for a little while, a very short amount of time, are probably not going to be that great, just because of the amount of hand cards you have to give up, the amount of cards from your hand that you have to give up to do this stuff. Seems a bit detrimental to a sort of competitive player, but if you're playing casually, then these are pretty cool. So I don't know if it's going to be able to focus on that writing. Oh no, it does. So I will put that up there and let you guys get a look at it. Hopefully you can read that. If you're not watching in HD, I apologise, but if you are, you should be able to see that. As you can see, you've got the blue pendulum number here and the red pendulum number there. I believe the way it works is that you place these pendulum cards into the pendulum zones as spells. So while they're there, they are spells. If you summon it as a monster, you know, level 3 dark spellcaster or whatever, it's just a monster. So that's why it's half green and half what do you call that? Orange maybe? Brown? I don't know. But yeah, you place one of these in each pendulum zone. So obviously there'll be new pendulum monsters with different numbers here, but we've got a 1 and an 8. So when these are in the 2 pendulum zones, you can special summon as many monsters from your hand as you like in a turn that has a level equal to the number in between the 2 pendulum numbers. So if this is on the right, you take its red number. If it's on the left, you take its blue number. Do you follow? Because at first this seemed really weird to me, but there is actually an effect here that changes the pendulum numbers, but just for the sake of this, I'm just going to talk with 1 and 8. So yeah, you put these at either side, and for this card you will take the blue, For this card you will take the red. Obviously they're exactly the same number on both sides, so it doesn't matter in this case. But you can summon anything in between 1 and 8. Now I believe that doesn't mean you can summon level 1s, and it doesn't mean you can summon level 8s. It has to be in between the numbers, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it works. Probably is in the beginner's guide. Maybe I should have a look at that for you guys just to make sure, because I don't want to give you the wrong information, you know. And this is kind of supposed to be an informative video, so hopefully they tell you how to do it in here. Oh yeah, they do. Okay, so I'll put it up as well in case I'll put it here just in case you guys want to read it, so you can. During your main phase, you can activate Pendulum Monster cards as spell cards in your Pendulum zones. So I was correct on that. After you have one in each Pendulum zone, you can Pendulum summon a horde of monsters. As if the game needed the ability to do that. Once per turn during your main phase, declare that you are Pendulum summoning. Check the Pendulum scales on the sides of your 2 Pendulum Monsters, then special summon as many monsters as you want from your hand and extra deck whose levels are in between those Pendulum scales. So it's showing here the example. Yeah, so I was correct, yeah. See, it's showing 8, 8 and 1, 1, and it says you can special summon monsters with levels 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Yeah, so that is essentially how it works. Some of them have effects that change their levels and stuff like that, but that's generally how pendulum summoning works. The problem is, if you were going to pendulum summon now, as these are the only 2 pendulum monsters that are available right now, if you have a starting hand of 5 cards, for example, which I believe everyone has now. I believe both players have 5 cards at the start, is that right? I believe, or first player has 5 and second has 6. Either way, you play these 2 and then you special summon stuff and you still have a normal summon. People are going to be very tempted to literally obliterate their own hand. Because what if you put these down and then, because when they're spells you can MST them, so I don't know, I think it takes too much advantage to do it properly. At the moment, you know. In time, I reckon Konami are going to produce some really incredible pendulum monsters and stuff that gets advantages after being pendulum summoned, like if this card was pendulum summoned, discard a card, search your deck for something, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff. We've seen it before. We've seen it with synchros, we've seen it with XYZs, we've seen it with fusions, even came back and got really powerful. But these new eras of cards, you know, the synchro era, the XYZ era, blah blah blah, now moving into the pendulum era, it takes a little time for them to release the cards, but once they're out, they're gonna start making, dare I say, broken combos and cards. I can just see them doing that. That's Konami's kind of style, really. So anyway, let's go through the cards now that I've explained that, because we're already at 13 minutes, so there's nothing too spectacular after these 2, but I will show the rest of the deck anyway. Okay, so the effect up here, if you can't read it, is you must control no monsters to activate this card. If a pendulum monster you control attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate trap cards until the end of the damage step. Unless you have a magician or odd eyes card in your other pendulum zone, this card's pendulum scale becomes 4. So there you go. You need to have a magician or odd eyes. So in this case it's okay because he's a magician, but there you go. And now his monster effect is each time the first card or cards in your pendulum zone that would be destroyed by an opponent's card effect is not destroyed. So there you go. So we'll move that way. Stargazer Magician, level 5. I will put it up as close as I can so that I'll let you guys read it as well if you want to pause the video and have a look at him. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so the pendulum effect. If a pendulum monster you control attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate spell cards until the end of the damage step. Unless you have a magician card or odd eyes, yeah, he becomes 4 as well. So they need each other to work, essentially. And his monster effect is once per turn, when exactly one other pendulum monster you control and no other cards is returned to your hand by an opponent's card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon one monster from your hand with the same name as that returned card, basically. So yeah, I know I didn't read it exactly, but yeah, that's what it does. So yeah, he's pretty cool as well. So that's the two Pendulum Monsters, the main attraction, if you like. And now we'll just go through the rest of the deck. Again, let me know if the lighting is better this way, or if you prefer it the way I was doing it before. We're still waiting to move our warehouse, so we'll be getting new equipment and stuff soon. So I think we're moving this weekend, so in a few weeks, maybe maximum a month, we'll have some better equipment. So okay, so the other stuff you get in the deck is, I'm just trying to get it in frame, there we go. What-tailed dragon, luster dragon. These cards have no effects, by the way, that's why I'm going so quickly. You can probably see the attack and defense. Hunter dragon, Millennium shield, Dark blade, lots of vanilla monsters. Warrior digrapher, Chamberlain of the Sixth Samurai, Mystical elf, classic. And then we have some of the newer cards, which I will let you read. I'm not going to go through all the effects because the video will be massive and long. So yeah, that's the stats there. That's Aether Empowering Dragon, or Ether, I think. Ventra the Empowered Warrior. Again, there's the effect and the attack stats if you want to read it. I'm going to keep doing this for all of these ones. Arnis the Empowered Warrior. They're all pretty good effects, to be fair. Well, actually, not all amazing, but a couple of them are. This one's pretty good. I like this one. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand. It's, you know, in defense, but then you can XYZ. So, you know, that's Terra Tiger, the Empowered. Hydro Tortoise, okay, the Empowered Warrior. There's the effect. Golden Dragon Summoner. Pretty cool. I like the artwork on these ones, actually, they're pretty cool. Blue Dragon Summoner. Red Sparrow Summoner. White Tiger Summoner. Just reminds me of Power Rangers. You know, White Tiger. If anyone remembers Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they'll know what I'm talking about. If not, ignore me. Green Turtle Summoner. When he flips, he destroys stuff. Sorcerer's Spell Wall. All monsters you control gain 300 attack during your turn only. All monsters you control gain 300 defense during your opponent's turn only. It's okay. But I think someone told me this was a new card. I swear I've seen this before, but maybe I haven't. Once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or by a card effect, draw one card. It's actually pretty good. I know a lot of people want this. It can be MST'd, but then if your opponent wastes MSTs on this, they're not going to have MSTs left for your traps. So it's one of those kind of chance situations. Lightning Vortex, don't need to explain, everyone knows that. MST, like I was just talking about. Ego Boost, not the greatest card in the world. Classic equipped card, Axe of Despair. Lucky Iron Axe, another equipped card. Again, if you want to read it, you can. Monster Reincarnation, used a lot in Lightsworn. Dark Factory of Mass Production, target 2 normal monsters in your graveyard, add those to your hand. So I mean, it's +1, you know, because you play this and then you get 2 cards. So yeah, it's +1. Poison of the Old Man, 2 different effects. I like the way it says LP now rather than life points. It's kind of funny. Trap Hole, again, an old classic. Bottomless Trap Hole is better. Would have been nicer to have a bottomless Trap Hole in here, but Trap Hole's good. Sakuretsu, basically like Mirror Force for one monster, but Mirror Force is better, so run Mirror Force. And you can get a Mirror Force in this power pack that I picked up earlier, as you saw. Raigeki Break, again, there's better things than these. Dust Tornado, you can read that if you haven't seen it before. Shadow Spell and classic old Kaiba card. Hero Emerges, you read that one. Soul Resurrection. Jar of Greed, draw one card. Simple. Simples. Magic Jammer. And a 7 Tools of the Bandit, which is quite nice to have actually. 7 Tools of the Bandit is a decent side deck card, so Okay, well the video's at 20 minutes now, guys, so I think that's all we really need to say about this deck. It's pretty nice. Overall, I'm gonna recommend that you guys pick it up. I know you could say that, well, I work for a company, so of course I'm going to recommend you to pick it up. I've already said to my boss, actually, and and to some other people that if I don't like something, I will be saying so. So, but no, this is worth it. I mean, it's the first Pendulum Monsters we have. If it was me, I would probably pick up 3 copies. So I've got 3 copies of these guys, and 3 copies of Odd Eyes, just in case. You also get 3 copies of Dark Hole with it, and you've got some chances to get some Mirror Forces and stuff like that. So overall, I think it's worth picking up. Luckily, Yu-Gi-Oh decks are a lot cheaper than Vanguard and stuff like that, so I would suggest getting it. Simple. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a like, let me know. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you plan to pick any of these up. And tell me what you think about pendulums, because I'm interested to know your guys' thoughts on the matter. So, with that being said, I'm going to go now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.